Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Chris and I'm sure you clicked on this video because you're interested in the secret to happiness when you move to Mexico. Let me first start by telling you a little bit, just quickly, about myself. Why would you want to listen to me, right? So I've been coming to Mexico since 1981. I've been living continuously in Mexico for 2 decades. I've been married to a Mexican national, my beautiful wife that I met here in Mexico, for 31 years. So I think it kind of gives me a perspective, that maybe you could appreciate. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just get right to it. The main key to happiness is right here, right? When you come to Mexico, you're going to notice things are different. There's no doubt about it. It's such a beautiful place. The country is amazing. The weather in winter is incredible. But in all honesty, the weather is not far from perfect. It's a lot better in the winter. There's no doubt about it. But some people find even the winter weather down here hot and humid. And so you need to kind of come here with an open mind. You need to have few expectations as possible. Be ready to take it in and not necessarily to freak out over things that, are less than perfect, because I've done a fair amount of traveling in North America and there is no perfect place. So it's all really right here. It's how you're going to look at this thing. And that's the real secret. That's the key to this whole adventure that you're thinking about taking or that you have taken, is to have an open mind about it and just take it as it comes. Just appreciate what this place has to offer for you. If you came here let's say you came here just for the weather, and because you hear it's cheap here or it's more economical to live here, but you wished it was like home, wherever that is, that's you're going to be very disappointed, because this is another country and it has a different style, a different flavor, different people, different customs, a different way of life, a different way of looking at life. And you could look at that as a negative. I don't. I see it as just different. I try to look at it in a neutral way, that it's just different here. And there's a lot of things to appreciate. And I'm not saying that I don't complain or I don't see the negative side or things that could be improved. I absolutely do. But I don't focus on that, and I don't sort of add that into the equation of, am I happy here? I'm just a firm believer that we have to understand that this is a different country with different customs, different values, and different norms. And if you're coming here, you need to fit into that. And that is going to be the key, the secret, if you will, to your happiness here, is learning how to deal with these differences in a way that doesn't upset you, that doesn't get you frustrated, angry. For me, this is why I came to live in Mexico. I don't want to be too preachy, but there's a lot of people that come here and they get this sort of idea in their head that the native Mexicans, maybe people that seem kind of happy here, are doing it wrong. That things that are different here from where they come from are not just different, but they're wrong. And they kind of have this attitude, like, which they've been calling it for decades, the ugly American. And there's a reason for that, because they're not doing it wrong here. They're doing it their way. And they're doing it the way they've done it for a long time. They're used to it. They aren't from your country, from your home, and they aren't coming to your neighborhood and telling you that you're living wrong. And they don't appreciate if you come here and tell them that they're wrong, that they live in some kind of third world hellhole, and why don't they do this, and why are the dogs loose, and why don't they fix the potholes, and why don't they do, pointing out all of the little frustrations that you might have, or the differences that you see, and why isn't this taken care of, and why isn't that taken care of. And there is probably a million reasons why things are different between the two countries, but the bottom line is that this is reality. This is the way it is here, and the sooner you can come to grips with dealing with that and being okay with that, the more you're going to enjoy it here. The people here are just not so focused on tiny little details or inconveniences in their life. They're sort of used to it, that things aren't perfect. But maybe that's where they're different from us. Not lacking, but different from us, is that they're unconcerned with little tiny details that don't matter in their life, and they don't understand in someone else how they could get so upset about something like that. So understanding that is really going to help you. The other big thing I would say is that when you come to Mexico, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, do all the other expats a favor, and come here with a guest's attitude, right? If you went to your friend's house, you wouldn't be telling them how to live, about problems you see in their yard, or the way they park their car, or that their dog barks too much, or they make too much noise, or they're doing this wrong, or they're doing that wrong. You just wouldn't do that, right? It's impolite. It's not how we all were raised. That when you're a guest in someone's home, you treat them with respect. I do feel like I am a guest in this country still. Even though my wife is Mexican, my kids are half Mexican, I still feel like a guest in this country, and I comport myself along those lines, right? I act like a guest in this country, and that's made it a lot easier for me to get along with people and for people to get along with me, because I'm not pushy. I'm not pushing my way of life on them. I'm not telling them that they're doing it wrong, because I feel like I'm a guest, and that would just be impolite and wrong, and that's not my place. And so I think that would go a long way in saving all of our reputations and keeping a relationship that is positive with the Mexican people, which is very important, right? We've decided to move here or spend part of the time or all of the time, or our retirement, or even before our retirements, remote working or whatever you're doing, you've decided to be here. And so I think having good relations with the people of the country that you are expatriated to makes a lot of sense. And it's going to make you happier, right? Isn't that's what it's all about, right? You didn't come here to make Mexicans happier. They know that. You came here to make yourself happier, I'm sure. Even if it was just more comfortable, even if it was just for the weather. You came here to make yourself a bit happier. So be happy, and don't worry about how this place is run, what it's missing, or what you can't find or don't have, or you're inconvenienced by. And you are the one that's going to be happier. I promise you. There's just no doubt about it. You don't have to love everything about Mexico. You don't. I don't. I don't think any Mexican loves everything about Mexico. But what we have to do is accept the differences. And that's going to keep you from feeling disappointed. And if you're not disappointed, if you're not frustrated, you're going to love it here. This place is going to be wonderful. Anywhere would be, but especially maybe here, where we are in a place that's different from maybe the way that we grew up, or our customs, or the way we think about things, the way we feel things should be. It's a little bit of culture shock, right? But this advice will work. I promise you. I can tell you, because it's worked for me. And I know it's worked for a lot of other people too. And I see nearly every day on Facebook, which is kind of the way everyone communicates here in Mexico, a lot of complaints, a lot of people having trouble dealing with this place. And these are the major reasons why. It's not Mexico. It's right here. It's right here in their head. This is not having the right frame of mind, right? The right perspective. That's what you need. That's what you need. Get the right perspective. You're going to love it here. That's it. Just be open to looking at things a little differently. Be open to doing things a little bit differently. If you can do that, I know that you're going to be a lot happier here. And that truly is the secret to making it work. And so if you've decided that this is the place you want to be, maybe you might want to consider some of this. All right? So I think the next video is going to be really important for you to understand exactly what you might be up against. What are the differences? Right? I told you there's a lot of differences here. Well, next video I'm going to tell you what those differences are from in my experience, from what my expectations to what the reality was. And maybe that'll help you to deal with these differences in a positive way, in a way that'll keep you from becoming frustrated or upset about the way things have turned out for you, or feeling like this is not right for you, because we don't want that to happen. If you made the decision to come here, I'm sure you'd like to make it work, like I have, right? So anyway, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you'll come back and watch the next video, and I'd love to hear your comments. I really would, because I want to make more videos like this. So if you have questions or comments, please leave them, so that it might give me some ideas for some more videos and how to help, right? Because that's what I want to do. I love it here. I've made it my home. I'm happy here. I see a lot of people that maybe are less than happy, and I'd love to do that. I'd also like to talk to you if you'd like to be interviewed about your experience living here in Mexico. So anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.